Welcome to our Trump Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into some exciting political moves and inspiring stories. First up, Georgia's Senate race is heating up. Republican Representative Buddy Carter has thrown his hat into the ring, aiming to challenge Democrat Jon Ossoff in 2026. Carter is rallying as a pro-Trump candidate with big campaign funds, setting the stage for a fierce primary contest among Republicans. The race promises to be costly and competitive, with Georgia once again at the heart of national politics. Next, we turn to the resilient small businesses in British Columbia. Despite the U.S. tariffs, a survey shows that 43% of these businesses have experienced revenue declines, but many are adapting through supply chain shifts and price changes. The majority remain confident and are implementing new strategies, although some are cautious about future impacts. This resilience highlights how local businesses are navigating global economic uncertainties with strategic agility. Finally, a heartwarming story from Kentucky. After the university canceled official ceremonies for minority graduates due to political pressures, Black students organized their own graduation celebration. Led by the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, they held a separate event to honor their achievements, demonstrating resilience and leadership in the face of institutional setbacks. It's a powerful reminder that determination and community spirit can shine through adversity. Please continue to stay tuned for more detailed updates. The Toronto Star vividly depicts the burgeoning political landscape in Georgia, where Republican Representative Buddy Carter has boldly launched his bid for the U.S. Senate, positioning himself as a staunch Trump supporter and a MAGA warrior. Carter's long-standing presence in Georgia politics, from his tenure as mayor of Pooler to his congressional service, provides him with a sturdy foundation. His campaign is bolstered by substantial funds, nearly $3.5 million, and the backing of influential figures like Eric Johnson. The race is expected to be fiercely competitive, with other notable Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Brad Raffensperger eyeing the seat, and the endorsement of Trump potentially tipping the scales. Meanwhile, Democratic incumbent Jon Ossoff faces a political climate where his opposition to Trump and stance on contentious issues like transgender sports are under attack from national Republicans, heightening the stakes and costs of the upcoming election. In British Columbia, the resilience of small businesses amid the turbulence of U.S. tariffs is powerfully captured by the Globe and Mail. Despite nearly half experiencing revenue declines, these entrepreneurs demonstrate remarkable adaptability, implementing strategic operational changes such as supply chain diversification, domestic sourcing, and price adjustments. The survey reveals a cautious optimism. Most businesses are waiting to see how the tariffs unfold before making drastic moves, reflecting a confidence rooted in their strategic patience. Leaders like Lonnie Skinner and Scott Henry emphasize that this resilience is driven by a combination of strategic thinking and a collective effort to support local economies. The findings underscore a broader narrative of Canadian businesses navigating uncertainty with patience, innovation, and a readiness to seize new opportunities amidst ongoing economic challenges. The Toronto Star also highlights a poignant story from Lexington, Kentucky, where Black graduates defied President Trump's anti-DEI initiatives by organizing their own celebration after the University of Kentucky canceled official ceremonies honoring minority students. This grassroots effort, led by fraternity members like Christopher Washington, exemplifies resilience and self-empowerment in the face of institutional setbacks. The event, filled with pride and cultural significance, underscores the importance of community-led initiatives to preserve traditions of recognition and inclusion. Kentucky's legislative moves to dismantle diversity efforts and the university's official stance reflect a broader national trend of political resistance to DEI programs, which has sparked criticism and protests. Despite these challenges, students and families like Brandy Robinson's continue to champion the value of acknowledgement and community, asserting that such celebrations are vital for fostering a sense of belonging and achievement amid an increasingly hostile political climate. The Washington Post reports that President Donald Trump has decided to withdraw the nomination of Ed Martin Jr. for the position of U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia after a prominent Republican senator expressed opposition due to Martin's defense of January 6 Capitol rioters. Martin, who has served as acting U.S. Attorney since Trump's inauguration, faced mounting criticism for his controversial leadership style, including dismissals of subordinates, social media posts about investigation targets, and his support for individuals involved in the Capitol breach. His past support for a defendant with white supremacist views and his failure to initially disclose numerous appearances on Russian-funded networks further damaged his prospects, leading to bipartisan opposition from former prosecutors and critics who saw him as unfit for the role. The Toronto Star highlights that this political controversy unfolds amid broader reflections on the anniversary of VE Day, which marks the end of World War II in Europe. While celebrations in London and Paris honor the victory over Nazi Germany and the sacrifices made to defeat fascism, there is a somber undertone as current conflicts, especially in Ukraine, threaten European stability. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier's remarks acknowledge the atrocities committed by the Nazis and the resilience of resistance movements, but he warns that the continent's peace remains fragile, especially with rising nationalism and the turbulent state of NATO, which has come under internal strain and criticism for shifting U.S. policies under Trump's administration. The article emphasizes that while the victory in Europe was once a symbol of hope and unity, today's geopolitical tensions cast a shadow over the anniversary, reminding Europeans of the ongoing struggle for freedom. The Associated Press details that on the day of the U.K.-U.S. trade deal announcement, President Trump proclaimed the agreement would deepen the long-standing relationship between the two nations, reducing tariffs on British cars, steel, and aluminum, and expanding market access for American agricultural products. The deal, which includes a quota for U.S. vehicle imports and the elimination of tariffs on steel and aluminum, was unexpectedly finalized during Prime Minister Keir Starmer's visit, with Trump even making a surprise phone call during an Arsenal soccer match to seal the deal. Meanwhile, the Biden administration remains cautious, emphasizing that negotiations with China and other trade partners are ongoing, and that future tariffs may remain higher. The article also notes Trump's broader efforts to reshape U.S. trade policy, including plans to negotiate individual agreements, challenge environmental policies, and even rename the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, illustrating his focus on economic nationalism and asserting American interests on the global stage. The Toronto Star offers a detailed and penetrating analysis of the Conservative Party's recent electoral defeat, emphasizing the importance of conducting a thorough autopsy rather than a superficial review. The article highlights that the Tories' campaign was rooted in outdated strategies conceived before major geopolitical shifts, such as Trump's trade wars and the rise of annexation rhetoric, which left them slow to adapt and recognize the real dynamics at play. Despite achieving a vote share that would typically guarantee victory, they lost because of a significant shift in voter allegiance towards the Liberals, fueled by the collapse of the NDP and the Bloc Québécois. The piece underscores the necessity for the Conservatives to understand whether this voter realignment is temporary or indicative of a deeper, more permanent change, particularly questioning whether the NDP is truly dead or capable of rebounding. Without this understanding, the party risks repeating its failures, as it has historically struggled to adapt to a rapidly evolving political landscape. Deutsche Welle paints a vivid picture of China's strategic alliance with Russia amidst Western sanctions and the Ukraine conflict, emphasizing Xi Jinping's high-profile visit to Moscow and the symbolic importance of the Victory Day parade. The article details how China has become Russia's top economic partner, with bilateral trade soaring despite Western efforts to isolate Moscow. China's pragmatic support, buying discounted Russian energy, providing crucial manufactured goods and military technology, has become vital for Russia's survival, especially as sanctions bite into its economy. The narrative underscores how Beijing's alliance with Moscow is not only a response to Western hostility but also a calculated move to position itself as a global stabilizer, countering U.S. influence. The deepening ties, exemplified by the potential power of Siberia 2 pipeline, reveal a lopsided power dynamic, with Russia increasingly dependent on China's economic and strategic backing, thereby diminishing Moscow's leverage and cementing China's role as a dominant player in Eurasian geopolitics. The Independent reports on the recent historic trade agreement between the UK and the US, highlighting the political and economic significance of the deal. Sir Keir Starmer's negotiation resulted in slashed tariffs on US goods, including a dramatic reduction in tariffs on cars and steel, which the Prime Minister celebrated as a milestone for British industry and jobs. The deal, however, has sparked criticism from Conservatives like Kemi Badenoch, who argue that Britain was shafted, with the US gaining far more favorable terms. The agreement's timing, coinciding with other trade deals with India and the potential EU arrangement, underscores a broader strategic shift in UK trade policy post-Brexit. While Labour claims victory in securing better terms than before, skeptics see it as a concession that leaves Britain vulnerable. The article contextualizes this deal within the larger geopolitical landscape, illustrating how recent negotiations reflect ongoing efforts to redefine Britain's economic alliances amidst shifting global power dynamics, with the US-UK pact marking a significant, if contentious, chapter in this evolving story. Yahoo US reports how, despite President Donald Trump's efforts to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives on college campuses, black graduates at the University of Kentucky refused to be silenced. When the university canceled its traditional ceremonies honoring minority students, a resilient group of students, led by members of the black fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha, organized their own off-campus celebration, donning caps and gowns, and receiving special regalia like stoles and cords. This act of defiance and self-organization exemplified the students' refusal to let political policies diminish their achievements and sense of community. Lexington's cultural leader Christian Adair praised the graduates for their perseverance, while Rabbi David Wirtschafter applauded their leadership in creating a meaningful event amid institutional neglect. Across the nation, universities faced mounting pressure from the Trump administration's aggressive stance against affinity-based programs, including directives from the Education Department and state legislation aimed at dismantling DEI efforts, all under the guise of legal compliance. Kentucky's legislature supported this push, with University President Eli Capilotto citing financial and legal stresses as reasons for canceling celebrations, despite criticism from families and students who viewed these events as vital for community building and recognizing marginalized students' unique journeys. The students' initiative underscored a powerful message: even in the face of institutional adversity and political hostility, their achievements and identities remain resilient and worthy of celebration. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Lives and fall, giants bleed, now are calm. Knocking is wrong, skill and might, workers sweat, endless night, stumble and search, shadows blend, rise of empires no end. Dragons well, blood and steel, screams unheard, prophets real, in war crews cold, fortunes made. Workers' fate in the shade. Currency war, silent fight, cradles burn like a night. Through the storm, neon gleam, economic power, move the steam. Contract sign, trails deep, backroom deals, those asleep. Bank bombs echo, greed's insatiable cry. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. Like a sweat, endless night, stubborn surge, shadows blend, rise of empires no end. Dragons roll, blood and steel, screams unheard, prophets real, in war crews cold, fortunes made, workers' fate in the shade. Currency war, silent fight, cradles burn like a night. Through the storm, neon gleam, economic power, through the sea. Currency war, silent fight, cradles burn like a night. Through the storm, neon gleam, workers' fate in the shade. Currency war, silent fight, cradles burn like a night. Through the spawn, neon gleam, economic power rules the sea. Contract sign, betrayals deep, backroom deals, bones asleep, bank bombs echo, greed's insatiable cry. In this mental wasteland, dreams die. contract signed, betrayals deep, backroom deals, vultures sleep. Nightfalls echo, leads insatiable cry. In this mental wasteland, dreams